Okay, so I'm obsessed with job seekers that tend to get multiple offers while other people are applying, waiting, getting an auto rejection, starting the whole process again. Isn't it unfair that certain people right now, while you're watching this video, are actually getting an interview with your dream company in mind? And you're watching a video to help you in your job search. Let's change that. I want this video to really move the needle for you. Now, the reason you can see a triangle and something saying full stack job seeker is because I'm going to show you how full stack job seekers think. These are people that generate all these offers. These are people that actually get more results than you. There's 5 layers in this process, and they're really easy to understand, and I'm going to show you how to implement them. Okay, number 1, market awareness. If you understand the marketplace, you understand, like from a bird's eye perspective, what's happening, what you need to do. And this is the simplest point. Number 1, market saturation. There's too many people in the marketplace. That's your biggest problem. You are sticking out from the crowd by sending a AI resume template. Let's be honest. You use ChatGPT or Claude, you've got a document, you apply. There's thousands of other people that do the same thing, and you want to stick out from the crowd. Very difficult to do that. Unicorn jobs and ghost jobs. The majority of jobs require way more experience than that's physically possible, and the majority of them are actually ghost jobs, which are companies posting jobs where they do not want to hire anybody. They just want to test the market to see how many applicants there are. Kind of weird, but it's happening. Easy apply. Biggest scam on LinkedIn. You apply for a job, 10,000 people have applied to the same job in 6 weeks, and then 2 people are interviewed. Like, think about those odds. I wouldn't bet my dream job on getting a job like that. ATS systems. There is a software, I'm sure you know this by now. It is designed to eliminate mass applications. So market saturation being the main issue, companies put a software, it reads the first line of your resume, auto-reject, a human doesn't even know you exist. 8-second recruiter rule. Let's assume a human does know you exist. They go through your resume, they read the first line, they're not impressed, they chuck it in the bin. That's it. AI automation versus AI augmentation. Now, we all talk about AI automation, AI taking all the jobs. That is a thing. But what we're not talking about is AI augmentation, which is doing the job with an AI tool more effectively than 6 months ago. If you're a person looking for an admin role, I hate to break it to you, that job won't exist in 6 months. That's AI automation. That job is gone. There's no need for admin people anymore. There is a software that does that. AI augmentation, on the other hand, is if you're a data analyst, you can literally augment that position from a company perspective by changing the responsibilities, by adding specific tools, but you still need a person as a company to be able to manage all of that. So you're looking for an AI augmented role. But in this market awareness step, if you don't know that, you're applying in an automated way for jobs that are being automated away, but you're not presenting yourself as an augmented job seeker. So that's the biggest issue. Here's another stat, market awareness. This is going to change the way you think about this. Number 1, application. Number 2, recommendation. Number 3, invitation. I've color-coded this to help you understand how this can actually help. If you apply for a job, you have 0.5% as a chance to get a job due to all the issues that I've just said. So that's 0.5%, 0.47% application. You want to move away from that. You want to go into recommendation. So this is market awareness. Recommendation, you've got a 44% chance. If somebody knows you exist and they like you and they recommend you, you have a 44% chance of getting the interview and getting the offer. That's where you really want to be. Invitation, if your LinkedIn is optimized, you connect to people, you have a strategy and a plan, and you talk to generally a lot of people in your target companies, there's a higher chance of you being invited. If you're invited, you have a 71% chance of getting an interview. This is where you really, really want to be. But the majority of people that I've worked with, I get them into recommendation relatively quickly. Speaking of, this is Aman, got into Capital One in literally 5 weeks. We got out of application because he was applying for 6-7 months, literally not getting a single interview. Zero, zilch, nada. Then he got into a strategy to reach out to people and actually move away from just applying, got recommended for a role. Now he's in Capital One with a sponsorship, a great salary, great company. He is happy. I mean, look at him. He is happy, happy as a bunny, okay? So if you have a strategy and you understand the marketplace that you want to move away from application, this is who you could be, okay? So that's a big thing. So we're moving away from market awareness, which is very basic, and we're moving into mental cognition. It's not enough for you just to know what's happening in the market. We all get it. There's too many people applying. There are other things you can do. You can stick out and look out. Fine. Your mental cognition dictates if you can take the next step. What do I mean by this? Prioritization, planning, problem solving, pattern recognition. If you cannot prioritize your time, and if you cannot plan your day, you are stuck in this zombie loop of application, wait, auto rejection, go again. I've spoken to people that have done this for months and they've just done the same thing. They have no prioritization or planning. Problem solving, if you can understand that your job search is a job and you're a product and you have to sell it, that's a problem solving type of mindset. Okay, there's a problem in front of you, you need to solve it, and there are different ways for you to think outside of the box. Mental cognition dictates if you can do that. If you've got a high mental cognition, great. If you've got a low one, you need a strategy, but we'll get to that. Pattern recognition, the most basic one. I think us as humans, we have pattern recognition. We can understand when there's danger. We have to kind of figure things out. And if something isn't working, we usually change our approach. But with job seeking, we're kind of doing the same thing over and over again. 6 months of applications. There's certain people who think, okay, I've applied for 6 months. I haven't had an interview. I've spent 11 hours a week doing this. I'm going to do this for another 6 months, expecting a different result. And we know what Einstein said about doing the same thing, expecting a different result. It's insanity. So let's move away from that. Here's something you can easily do. This is something that gives you a little bit more mental cognition. If you reach out to 20 people a day, and you do this for 5 days, that's 100 people, and use LinkedIn for this. Let's say you have a 30% acceptance. So 30 people accept. Let's say out of the 30 people that accept, let's kind of put in a conservative measure here. Let's say half of them reply. That's 15 replies. Let's half that number again and add a little bit of positivity. So let's say 8. 8 people can help you if you reach out to 100 people. Now, that doesn't mean you're going to have 8 interviews. Doesn't mean you're going to have 8 recommendations or, referrals. It means that you've got the attention of 8 people who are willing to help you. These people can recommend you. They can refer you. They can have a meeting with you. They can put in a good word. They can actually give you an internal link to apply for a hidden job. That's if you have the mental cognition to do more than what everybody else is doing. So that's really important. This is Morgan. He got 5 offers in 5 weeks. He stopped applying. His market awareness was, okay, the market's bad. I'm a teacher. I don't have the experience. I want to be a wealth manager. I want to work in a really prominent UK investment bank / wealth management company. He got into St. James Place Wealth Management. On paper, he should not be in that position. The reason he got into that was because he understood the marketplace. The mental cognition was there. He's a smart guy. He reached out to people who were decision makers and he explained how he could do the role. He also had a plan and a strategy that he followed every day. He spent about half an hour a day doing this. Okay, so we have market awareness, we have mental cognition. Now we need principles. What are principles? Principles are you. What do you stand for? What are your principles? So let's break this down from a job seeking point of view. If you have no experience, but you have principles, you are still very unique to somebody else who has no experience and has their own principles. Company culture fit. What type of company culture do you want to work in? Soft skills. What soft skills do you have? Work style. Where do you want to work and how do you want to work? Personality traits. Are you introverted, extroverted? What personality traits do you have? Think about this. If you want to join Google, you want to have a company culture fit for Google. If you want to join JP Morgan, company culture fit for JP Morgan. If you have soft skills and you can work with the team, when a company wants to hire you, they're thinking about this. They take this into account more than experience in most cases, because building experience is easy. Changing your company culture fit, your personality trait, your soft skill, that's near enough impossible. That's not just going to fly. If you want to work in Google, very rarely do you want to work in an investment bank. And if you want to work in an investment bank, you're not going to work in an NGO. And if you want to work in an NGO, you're not going to work for a capitalistic type of company who's just maximizing profits. So everybody's different, but that's an asset that you want to be able to explain. So those are your principles. Now, this is Lakshmi. She explained her principles, which is company culture fit for Bloomberg. She got into a research analyst position with no experience. She didn't even apply for the job. She reached out to the head of HR, had a conversation. Head of HR then recommended her to the hiring manager, who then had a meeting with her, who then recommended her to an interview, got in the interview, got an offer, all without actually applying. Okay, so that's how powerful this stuff is if you know it. So we got market awareness, mental cognition, principles. Now it's discipline. So Milo, what do you mean about discipline? Discipline to be able to do certain things once you can explain these things. So selling yourself. If you have the awareness, if you understand you need to plan and prioritize certain things, and you have the principles, if you can't sell yourself, it doesn't mean anything. You cannot communicate your value. So you're stuck. You're stuck with the market saturation issue. Asking the right questions. If you're on a meeting and you're dealing with someone doing the job that you want to do and they can refer you, you can't ask a question like, hey, what's the day-to-day like? That's not the right question. Answering questions. If they ask you, hey, why should we hire you? And you haven't got a good answer for that, you're stuck. Looping conversations. This is a big one. Looping conversations in networking, you're going to be pushed back a lot. Somebody's going to say, look, please apply online. You don't have enough experience. We're not hiring at the moment. Looping means being able to keep moving forward. So here's an example. We're not hiring at the moment. Your loop should be, when you do start hiring, what do you look for? Then they tell you what they look for, and then you ask, when do you start hiring for that? You just loop the conversation. Please apply online. Make an application and then carry on the conversation, because you don't want to be stuck in market saturation. So you want to say, I can confirm I've applied while I still have your attention. Would you say company culture fit is more important or soft skills? Then you're going back to your principles, right? So then you're sticking to what makes you unique and sticking out from the crowd. So market awareness, mental cognition, principles, discipline, important stuff. Okay, Vibav, one of my favorite students. He got into London Stock Exchange Group in 5 weeks. He spoke about how he could do the role. He got into a client-facing position. He understood the market. He understood that he had to do more and plan his way. He had his own principles. He was then able to sell himself for a position with London Stock Exchange Group, for a position that required 3 years of experience. He had zero, zilch, got into the role with a sponsorship, 55K salary, 20K bonus. He made 75K, I think near enough to 80K in his first year, because he was able to follow a plan and understand to think about job search in a different way. Big stuff. Processes. This is the big one. You can have the first 4 layers, but if you don't know who to reach out to, where to reach out to these people, how, what to say, and when. So if I can teach you with, look, I want you to reach out to people doing the job. I want you to reach out to people who influence the hiring decisions. I want you to reach out to the HR business partner and get a recommendation to the head of HR, and then talk to the head of HR, and then get a meeting with the hiring manager, and then showcase your ability. If you don't know those processes, you're going to be stuck with shooting at literally every application, throwing spaghetti at the wall, hoping something sticks. And that's not a strategy. A process is being able to do something step by step. So since we're on the subject of actually following these processes, being able to reach out to the right people is going to be something that I can help you with. So on the How to Job platform, we can actually map out which companies, which roles, which exact list of people in those companies by titles we need to reach out to, how to sell yourself more effectively, what your elevator pitch should be, networking prompts, what soft skills you have. This is all done by research. From when you join our platform, you answer a ton of questions, and we can actually then map out who to reach out to in which protocol sense. So everything's mapped out for you. We'll work on your resume. We'll give you a strategy and a plan, where some of the other people that you've just seen on this video that I've worked with, they spent 20 minutes a day generating multiple offers by the end of the month. If you're interested in that, book a call by the below of this video in the description, and like and subscribe. I'll see you on the next one.